I recently heard a colleague tell a room full of physicians AI is not going to replace doctors, but doctors who do use AI will replace doctors who don't. I believe more than ever this is more true than we realize. And I believe it's not just true in medicine, but true everywhere. These tools are quietly creating a new standard of accuracy, efficiency, and creativity for how we work and how we think. So, whether you're a physician, an executive, or a student, if you're not using AI and you're not using it well, you're operating at just a disadvantage. Not because you're not smart, but because you're not leveraging the same tools as those around you. I'm Steve Brule, a cardiologist and chief medical officer, and today I'm going to show you how to take your ideas from the paper world to a structured digital system. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to evaluate these tools so you're not just guessing which one to use. So today, we're going to put three major AI platforms head to head: Chat GPT, CoPilot, and Gemini. Same inputs, same instructions, same test. Let's see what actually happens. All right, we're going to start simple here with a business card, a receipt, and 3 post-it notes. This is everyday chaos that we all deal with every day. Most people take a picture of it and then move on, but we're going to do something different. I told each model, you are my high-level personal assistant, and I gave it 4 clear objectives. 1, extract the content. 2, log the expense. 3, create an action prioritized list. And most importantly, connect the dots. Let's see how it did. All right, before we get to the results, these are the instructions I gave each of the AIs to be my personal assistant, to turn the scrap heap into a prioritized dashboard. Here's the instructions. I'll go ahead and leave this in the comments section. And at first glance, these look quite professional, clean headings and very nice formatting. But remember, clean is not the same as correct. So we'll go through these piece by piece. So first, let's start with the business card. So the phone numbers, the phone number was actually 419-799. ChatGPT extracted it correctly. Gemini also extracted it correctly. Copilot said unreadable. That information was in there, but it simply wasn't able to capture it. Now let's think about that in real life. If that is a reference source, that is a failed handoff. So the first question is simple. Can it see what's there? Because extraction failed, nothing downstream matters. So that's a positive for ChatGPT and Gemini and a fail for Copilot. Let's look at the receipt now. So ChatGPT again captured it, the vendor, the date, the subtotal, tax, the totals. Is a very structured and complete list. Gemini also captured the total correctly, but notice something else that's kind of subtle. It added promotional language about discounts and rewards. That's not wrong. That's interpretive and kind of a nice feature. Copilot unfortunately missed many elements entirely, including the accuracy. So this is the hierarchy that I'm going to kind of grade this by: extraction first, interpretation second. If the numbers are wrong, the dashboard really is meaningless. Now let's look how it handled the sticky notes. First up is ChatGPT, where they went ahead and tried to organize into high priority, medium priority, and then personal and home. For high priority, it took the Project Alpha with the code. It went ahead and connected that to the advanced auto part receipt. For the medium priority, the Q3 proposal with Jim Carson. Respond to Kelly as far as the handwritten letter with the dates included for possible follow-up, which I think is kind of nice. And then the personal and home, I kind of like how they broke this out. Pick up dinner from Johnny's, that's the correct restaurant. Book anniversary dinner this week, and then pick up cleaning. So a nice clean summary. All right, so moving on to Copilot. This also prioritized by high priority, medium priority, and low priority. You'll see that it did a kind of a nice job here with submitting expense report, putting that with Project Alpha, including the code, but unfortunately did not directly tie that to the receipt, much less the amount on the receipt. As far as the budget 3 call to Jim Barton, it did associate that with the call, or I'm sorry, the lunch next Tuesday. It, for some unclear reason, put up pickup Gianni's before 5 as high priority, perhaps because that was more today. The medium priority, pickup dinner at Benny's, that should have been Johnny's. And then my anniversary dinner, it put as medium priority. My wife probably would not agree with that. And then low priority, Kelly's letter regarding conference dates. Again, it's the AI's personal interpretation that that's low priority, which we may or may not agree with that. All right, so we are finally up to Gemini, and here's the to-do list it came up with. It organized it into high priority, as you can see here, with work and finance, the expense report, including Project Alpha, the code. It linked it to the receipt, including the total. Talked about the follow-up for the medical liaison, included not just the topic, but also the availability dates and when. It talked about the Q3 proposal with Jim, the lunch next Tuesday that was also associated with that. And then it also showed time-sensitive or personal follow-ups, including the dry cleaning before 5 in bold, the anniversary planning sometime this week, and then the dinner at Johnny's, the pickup. So again, a slightly different layout, but I do think pretty nice how they did this. All right, everyone, it is time to bring it all together for the final conclusion. In quick review, we went ahead and took a picture of these random scraps of paper, the receipt, the business card, the 3 post-it notes, and this handwritten letter. We asked AI to evaluate them and be our personal assistant, and out came these very impressive reviews from Chat GPT, from Google Gemini, and from Microsoft CoPilot. So of course this is just my opinion, but I will say, to my surprise, Google Gemini did seem to be the strongest of the 3. It really just, first off, had the most accuracy. Accuracy, really, if you don't have that, it's tough to make sense of the data. ChatGPT, again, that's actually what I use the most of, but it did struggle a little bit on identifying some of the numbers and some of the words and names, but overall was still a very strong assistant. CoPilot, unfortunately, is not really prime time and ready for a virtual assistant, at least not right now. We'll check back on that in future episodes. On my next episode, I'm going to be taking non-linear notes, something you might be taking in a lecture or some kind of meeting, and then we'll see how each of these tools can handle those handwritten notes, put them in a more usable and organized fashion, and hopefully make them more useful for all of us. Well, there you have it. If you learned something today, please do me a favor and give the video a like, and consider subscribing to the channel, as I'll be planning to post new content every month as we continue to live, learn, and grow in this brave new world of AI together.